everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Wendy J. Haney. Well, I showed you how to make the disappearing 4 patch on my last video, but guess what? Here's another disappearing 4 patch that's just got a little bit different twist to it. I discovered this one on the website, on a website. That's what we do, right? We go browse the internet and see what we can find. Kate Colleran, and I'll put the link below in the description, came up with this method. And personally, I like this one better than the traditional disappearing 4 patch that I showed you in the last one that most people are probably familiar with. I'm going to be working with these fabrics. Yep, that is another version of the disappearing 4 patch, and it can be really fun. That one that I'm working with is with lighter fabrics. I have a lot of that fabric, so that's what I'm using today. But personally, I'm a little bit brighter person, and I like a little bit more of a contrast. So when I was playing with this block, I was working with some different colors. Yup. My camera doesn't know which one to focus on. What we're going to be doing is working with 2 4-patch blocks with 2 different colors. And you can have a lot of fun with this doing a few different things. In this case, I used just 2 colors. So my 2 blocks used the same light and my same dark. And I put that one together. You can have a lot of fun also with charm packs because we're working with 5-inch blocks. Here's the gotcha. I'm gonna warn you with charm packs. I started working with one. So this is one I did with a charm pack. So with the charm pack, you have a variation of your colors. So in this case, I ended up with picked a light fabric for my background, and then I used 2 different colors in the charm pack. Well, and I was using the Artisan Spirit Shimmer from Northcott Studio. And this one is, you might still be able to find it, but it was in my stash for a long time. Here's the gotcha. I cut out my 5-inch blocks from the background fabric, and then I got my charm pack out and I started putting them together. Oh my gosh, I was so disappointed. The charm pack 5-inch blocks, they weren't 5-inch blocks. And I know with charm packs that are pinky sheared, I think that's the right way you would say that, you use the very outer edge of that pinked edge. It still wasn't 5-inch. So if you are a beginner quilter, as much as you're thinking, wow, charm packs would be a really easy way to do this, I would suggest you not use charm packs when you're working with the first time. Instead, use yardage. Just my recommendation until you get more comfortable with things, because yeah, my charm pack, luckily I was able to make it work, but I was very disappointed in not having accurate 5-inch blocks from my charm pack. Okay. So with that said, toss all that over there. Here's what you need. You need 2, I'm using this as my light background fabric, so I have this as the same in both blocks. And then I picked out a darker green and a floral. So you need, for each combination you're doing, you need 4 of your background fabrics and 2 each of your colored fabric. So we're gonna make 1 block out of this and 1 block out of that. So your 4 patch, pretty straightforward. Let's work with this one. You're going to just lay them out. So your darker or your background, whichever, you've got your opposite colors. And then you just put them together, you fold them over, and you sew your 1/4-inch seam. If you want to know some information about the 1/4 inch seam, go back to my other video on the disappearing 4 patch and use the chapters to find where I talk about getting your machine set up with the proper 1/4 inch. That goes a long way in making sure these blocks turn out well. So if you're making a lot of these blocks, this is really sweet. You just start piling up your blocks, take them to the sewing machine, 1/4 inch, and you just keep going and making them all at once. Then you end up with, you press them out. I am always pressing to the dark side, and I'm going to warn you that later on as we slice and dice these, you may need to repress some of them in order to get your seams to nest. Not a big deal. So now you have a whole bunch of these pressed, and you're going to put them together to get your 4 patch. Yep, and this is where your seams get nest, making sure everything matches nice and neatly. What I do is make sure the top nests, and then I go all the way down and make sure it's nested at the bottom and nice and easy. And then you're going to go to the sewing machine and stitch a 1/4 inch there, and then you're going to end up with a 4 patch block. I'm going to go do that and finish this 4 patch, and then I'm going to make up my other 4 patch. That is this one, and then we'll show you the next step. I have my 4 patches all sewn together now. So as you can see, we have 2 different 4 patches, but they both have the same background fabric. As I said, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can really play with a lot of things and have, excuse me, different fabrics all the way around. Get out your crayons and a piece of paper and play with it and see what you like. When I get done with my block, I do pinwheel the middle seam. Yep, it just helps things lay smoother. So what you do is, all you do is get into the middle there, that seam, and just twist it. Basically, your, oops, wasn't supposed to say basically. Sorry, couldn't help it. You're gonna just twist it, and that breaks up the little stitches right there, and then it's going to twist it so one side the seam is going to go one way and the other way. So then you flip it over, and what I've discovered is mine always goes to the light. So you just finger press and make sure you've got that. Yep, sometimes the middle doesn't like to go the right direction. But anyway, play with that and get that pressed. I have mine pressed already. Now is a good time to check your 1/4 inch seam. Well, I have this holder for my rulers that I thought would make it so much easier to find them. The slots are a little tight, so I have to tug sometimes. Now's the perfect time to check the size of your 4 patch. This block using 5-inch squares should be a 9.5-inch block. Pretty dang close. Yep, I'm gonna be really happy with that one. So this is a good time to check your 1/4 inch seams and make sure your block is good, because once you start slicing and dicing this and sewing it back together again, if you're really off with the size of your 4 patch, well, your disappearing 4 patch is going to be even more off, because now you've added a lot more seams, etc., etc. Okay. I love my, it's a 6-inch 12 by 12-inch ruler. It's perfect for this kind of work because it doesn't get in the way and it's not too long. What you're going to do is cut off a 2.5-inch strip from this side and a 2.5-inch strip from that side. What you want to do though is get your ruler and line it up on a seam and get that nice and straight, because let's face it, when you sew things together, everything else isn't maybe quite as square as it could be. So I always use my middle seam as my benchmark for how straight it is. Make that straight, and it should be that you've got a straight edge here with your 2.5 also. And you're gonna cut that off, set it aside, flip it around, and do a 2.5 inch strip over here. 2.5, whoopsie, I shifted it. Okay, so I set those strips aside. Now you have a middle strip that's got, it's kind of a 4-patch rectangle, something or other. Flip it around. So on the short sides, we're going to cut off 2.5 inches again. Your pressing and your cutting here is going to be important, as well, of course, as your 1/4 inch seam. Now, you've got a nice little itty bitty 4-patch. You have your 2 pieces you cut off, your middle section, and the 2 that you cut off the sides of your major 9.5 inch square. Great. You're going to do the same thing with your other square, and I've already done that. So this is what we have. Okay, now, if you wanted to, you could put these all back together with the same colors as I did with my blue block. I just used a background and I put it all back together with the same fabrics. Okay, that works great. But in this case, we're working with 3 fabric colors. So it's a lot more fun if you start switching them up. So in that case, flip your little squares, keep your middle the same, and you're gonna flip your others. So now what we're gonna do is, your 4-patch in the middle is gonna be there. Let me do this one. I got too many around there. This is what we're aiming for. You've got your 4-patch in the middle of the one set of colors you did, and you're going to add the long pieces and the short pieces with your opposite color. So I've got my middle, and now I'm switching out these for those. I'm switching out those for these. Now, just like working with your 4-patches, you want to make sure you don't put your light and light together. So in this case, you're going to, yes, I had to think twice on that. You're going to create your middle again. I'm gonna build that, we're gonna put that, and as I mentioned, I'm actually good with this one. My seams nest there. Oh, they do. But sometimes you might need to repress your seams so that they nest. We're gonna go and sew those together, and then we're gonna come back and put those on together. One step at a time. So we're gonna get our middle done, and I'm gonna do the same with my other block. The other, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that. Yep, we're mixing and matching. Now, you should have 2 of these strips. One of them has the greens in the middle, or one of your darker colors, and the opposite in the other corners. Now that you've done that, you're going to grab the other strips and you're going to put them on the sides. And you're going, what? Wait a minute, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. No, Houston, we don't have a problem. This is just the way it works, and we're gonna need to do some trimming. here's the key thing. Make sure you've got your colors matching here in your corners. Because otherwise, this is why I'm not showing you my other block. This is what happens. Oh, actually, that's a good one. Where's the one I screwed up on? Oh, there we, nope. Well, fiddlesticks. There it is. I kind of put that together. Huh. Not quite so right, huh? I was supposed to have used the strips with the flower fabrics and match them with that. I didn't. But guess what? I created a new layout. If I didn't want to have my blocks all the same, you know, this could kind of be an interesting layout too if you wanted to play with. I'm going to actually take this one apart and put it back together the way it needs to be. So back to what you're supposed to be doing. Your long strips are going to match your outside corner fabrics, and you want them to line up so they match here. Gonna put your fabric on there, match your seams, do it over there. Yep, mine actually nest very nicely. You're gonna go to the sewing machine and do a 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch there. And then it's going to come out and look, that's my bad one. Wow, I'm just all over the place today. So once you sew those together, yes, you're gonna have edges hanging off the side. That's okay. That's what it's supposed to be doing. That's my bad one. Here we go. This is my good one where I was using the opposite colors. Get that out of the way. And I pinwheel all the seams that I can pinwheel. Where you've got your 4s, I pinwheel them. Get it pressed nice and neatly. Grab a ruler that is, I have an 8.5 inch square, which is perfect because now you got to trim off these little doodads hanging off the edge. In the middle, this is where you want to match things up for your squaring up of this. Match the middle at a 4, 4 1/4. So my ruler has a little dot, 4 1/4 from each side, top and bottom. Put that in the middle, match up your seams. I didn't do too bad. Yep, and whack off your edges, turn it around, match up your 4 1/4 dot in the middle, match up your seams. And you shouldn't end up trimming anything in this middle section. You really are just cutting off your edges that hang off from those longer strips. And there you have it. That is one of the completed blocks. And your other completed block is going to look like that. So out of your 2 squares, your 2 4 patches, one was this 4 patch, the other was that 4 patch. We cut 2.5 inches strips on each side, and then 2.5 inch strips off your middle strip that you had left over. We rotated the fabrics, leaving our 4 patch in the middle, and then we swapped the other fabrics with the blocks. And now you end up with 2 blocks like this. You can make the whole thing, and maybe you want multiple blocks, but you want each block to have the same colors. So leave your colors match your 4 patch in the middle, and then you have alternates. Or work with 2 4 patches that are the exact same 2 colors. Or use charm packs, and this piece, mine's kind of wonky because as I said, my charm pack wasn't exactly square, so I just picked 2 charm colors that I thought coordinated well and kept my own background fabric. And I'll probably end up doing that with that charm pack since I've already started cutting into it. There you have it. Thanks, Kate Colleran, for such a great idea on another disappearing 4-patch. I really love this one, so I'm going to play with this one and go fix my 1 block and then start seeing what we can do with a layout. I think if you have, I think I did the math and figured out if you had a yard, 2 yards of the background, a yard each of your colors, you could get 16 blocks. So a 4x4, so about a 32-inch square quilt top, add a border, and it'd be a really cute little baby quilt. Otherwise, buy more fabric, make more blocks. Take care, and thanks so much for watching.